back at it again, y'all. I'm out here getting ready to plant some more stuff. We got some rain coming tomorrow. It's about like a 60 or 70% chance. So I'm trying to get some stuff in the ground before that comes. The rainwater will do it some good. We're filling up my barrel here a little bit because I gotta soak some stuff. I'll show you what I gotta soak here in just a second. We got these big old fat gnats flying around about this time of year. I don't know why they come. Don't ask me. I have no clue, but they flying around. So if you see me swatting around in the video here, that's what I'm swatting at. And they only last for like a week or two and then they're gone. All right, so now I got that filled up a little bit. I'm gonna set this to the side. I am going to be planting. Let me see if I can sit y'all down here. There we go, yeah, perfect. I'm gonna be planting some raspberry bushes, and I'm also gonna be planting 2 different types of different grapes. I thought they would be nice to plant alongside the fence line. Raspberries are what I have heard are very invasive, so they will spread. So I figured over time they'll cover the fence line pretty nicely. And so I got 2 different types of grapes. I got the purple grapes right here, and then I got some green ones. I'm going to be putting them along the fence line. So basically what I'm going to do is take these out, and they say to soak them a little bit before you put them into the ground, get them real good and soaked. So I'm going to be taking these. There's a gnat. I told you they're everywhere. They're like humongous. I'm going to take these and take them out of their packages, and I'm just going to let them soak in that barrel while I dig some holes for them. There's Sully and Andy. The dogs are out here. We let them out. They're running around enjoying the evening while we're out here where we can watch them. So I'm going to take this out. Set it in here. I'll pull this closer where I'm at here. I'm going to set that. I'm just going to let it soak some of this water up. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one right here. And so while I got these soaking, I might have already done set it. While I got these soaking, I'm going to go ahead and start digging the holes. Now raspberries, they want you to fertilize it once you plant it in the ground, and put the fertilization on it, and then like mulch it down like with some peat moss, which I do not have, so I'm going to substitute and use my composted materials that I got from the city, the free mulch, and so I'm going to use that instead. And I think that still would be all right. I don't think it's going to hurt it any. And then on the grapes, it doesn't really say anything about. Oh, well, it does say to fertilize it, but it doesn't really say anything about putting peat moss or anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of do them both the same way. Mulch them down with the mulch from the city that I get, instead of using peat moss, because like I said, I don't have any of that, so I'm using the next best thing. And so the grapes come wrapped in this brown paper, so I'm going to unwrap that. And some of this soil is going to fall apart from it, but I'm just going to soak it in there. We'll just use what we can. And I got one more grape to do. I'm going to be planting these, and then I'm going to be planting some other things also as well, so I'm going to show y'all those. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, and then I'm going to come back at you once I get these in the ground. So I done recruited my husband. He's doing it with the post hole diggers. I didn't realize the ground was as hard as it was, and since he is at home and I have the help, I called him out to help me dig 4 holes, which are not very deep. I meant to bring down, me and my mom, we go back and forth and share a lot of stuff because she loves to garden as well. She gave me this fertilizer. It's plant-based, and I didn't bring it down here. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to post it in the description below, or I'll either, when I'm editing, I'll put it in. But I just 1 teaspoon of it per gallon. And I got the raspberries. I just planted them over here because they'll bush out. I figured it would look real pretty right here, bushed out. But I put them in the ground, so I'm gonna fertilize it with a little bit of this.
Is that the only holes that need to be dug?
Yeah. And then I'm gonna get this one right here and fertilize it a little bit. Just give it a good little start. The sun is getting ready to set, so after I get these done, I should be able to roll because I'm gonna be planting seeds. So I'm gonna take this bucket down here with me that's got the grapes in it. And I got him to do it on this other side because I'm gonna have those planted closer to the fence where the grapes can vine onto it. And Jesse, he then brought me some of the mulch in the bag he put in there for me. So these two lost a lot of the soil in the water when I was soaking. So I'm gonna have to dig around in this bucket and try to pull out a little bit of that and put it into these holes that he's been dug. Probably would have been better if I used a little bit of a smaller container to put them in. We'll be all right. Because what I'll do is I'll just water with this as well after I put the fertilizer on it, and I'll probably go back over there and water the raspberries too. And so that's your root system. So you just want to plant a little bit above that root system, and you just stick it in the ground, and then you take your soil and put it on top. And I'm putting it kind of closer to the fence so it can grab hold of the fence once it starts vining out. I thought that it would look real pretty, and I kept the receipt because sometimes you can get these and you'll have one do right and one not, and then sometimes you'll have both of them do right, then sometimes you'll have one that won't do right, and it really has nothing to do with your planting skills. It just, you get some duds sometimes. And so I kept the receipt so that if I do get some duds, I can go back to the store because it's got they give you a 1-year warranty. I got these at Lowe's, and then you have a 1-year warranty. So if it doesn't do well, they'll guarantee you your money back, or you can get another plant in the place of it. I'm trying to get all this in here. Take this bag, this compost, and do the same thing like I did with the raspberries. And I'm putting this in thick around it to keep grass from competing with the grapevine, so that all the growth can go towards the grapevine and not towards the grass. And also, when it rains, this mulch will soak up that rain and keep it moist. And you just want to kind of, for the first month or two while these plants are establishing. You just want to kind of keep up with the watering until they get well established, and then you can kind of let it go. You don't have to water as much. Give them a little bit of this fertilized water mix. And even though the rain is coming tomorrow, I'm still going to water them just a little bit so they don't dry out until that rain comes. I'll walk back over here to the raspberries, put the rest of this water in there, and probably a little bit more with a hose. And then we can start planting the seeds. I wanted to show y'all the tomato plants I planted. They're doing wonderful. These are the Roma tomatoes, and they look fabulous. But I also wanted to show y'all, even though I hardened these off for 2 weeks, I want to give you an example. I hardened these off in 2 weeks, but I still have 1 or 2 that just kind of look like it fried, basically. But I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna pull it up or anything because it might bounce back, and you'll have a loss of maybe 1 or 2. But for the majority of the part, tomato plants are very resilient, and they'll bounce back, and they'll weep after a transplant like that until they get used to being in the ground and get established. So even if you have one that does something like that, which I've got 2 that did that, just leave them alone, because even though it looks like it's dead and it's dried up and withered away, it might make a comeback, and then again it might not, but just leave it alone and see what it does. I've planted potatoes before, but I've never tried one in the raised beds before. This is a Russell Burbank, and I'm going to plant them in this 3rd bed. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I've got tomatoes on the long way on this side. Let me show you. I got them going all the way down this way, and then I have these 3 right here in this area. Then I have a cattle panel that's going to have something trellising on this end and on that end. But I'll have all this middle space with nothing in it. And so I'm going to put the potatoes there, because basically once you put the potatoes down, it'll take a couple months for them to grow. And so they can be doing their thing while the tomatoes are growing and producing and putting off fruit. And by the time the tomatoes are kind of filtering out, I can come into the center and have me some nice potatoes ready. Now these potatoes, I haven't never planted before, but it's like typically you plant them all about the same, like you typically would any other I'm trying to call them potatoes. So you're gonna do like an inch, like trench. So I'm gonna dig right here in the center, just a little bit. And it says to put your compost down. Basically my bed is a lot of compost, but I'm gonna just put a little extra in there, some new. I stopped the video just a minute ago so I could go dig up some over there that had been composting down a little bit. So I'm gonna just put that right there. And then you want to plant your potatoes about 18 inches apart. And you're going to put them in the ground where the tubes or sticking up like towards the sky. But you want to put them about 3 to 4 inches deep into the soil. So we're going to stick, and this is kind of experimental for me this year because I haven't never tried to grow potatoes in a raised bed before. And we're just going to cover that up. And it says not to cover your trench all the way. When the stems start to emerge off of your potatoes, you want to cover it up again, and you just repeat that until you fill in your trench all the way. I'm gonna say 18 inches is probably right about here. I'm just guesstimating. I'm not one of those that is going to be a stickler and be like very precise about things. So I'm gonna cover that one up. Let's see how many. This one, I got 3 more. I didn't get a lot of potatoes. Because I really don't know if I'm going to have a lot of space to do a lot of potatoes this year. I'm kind of planting as I go. I kind of did like a draw out of what I wanted my garden to look like and be how I wanted it to be laid out and everything. But you know, most of the time you do your doodles and then you change it like five or six times, and it's never looks the same as you doodled it out originally. So, but that's okay. I'm gonna plant these next 2, and then I'm gonna show you the next things I'm gonna be planting. On this very first trellis, where it comes from bed number 1 over to bed number 2, I'm going to be planting some Kajari melons, and they're a smaller type melon. And what drew me to this melon, I've never tried it before, but the colors, y'all, look, it's got green and white and orange stripes, and it's a smaller melon, so it's like more like a personalized sized melon, and it takes about 80 days to mature. And these should probably be ready. I'm planting them now, so May, June, about July they should be ready to eat. So I'm gonna put them on these trellises, and I'm probably gonna do like 1 on each side and 1 in the center, and do that on both sides, 3 and 3. I don't want to plant no more than that because I want to give it some ventilation where it can breathe, where the leaves can breathe, and so that it won't get blight or anything like that. We put these trellises in, we put them a foot into the ground. Well, the T-post, we put a foot into the ground, and we put these in the ground a little bit and had them close to the sides of the bed. So instead of planting on this side, I'm going to be planting on this side of the bed. And a general rule of thumb, however big the seed is about how you want to put your seed in. So this one, I don't know if y'all can tell, it's kind of a, I'd say probably maybe not even a ½ inch to an inch. So we're going to put one right here. Just lightly bury it. And then one at this corner. I'm going to do the same over here as well. So the next thing I'm going to be planting, and that is going to be on the first bed and the second bed towards the back on that trellis. I think I'm going to be putting some of these Mexican sour jerkins. Some people call them cucamelons. So I'm gonna put some of those down there, and I'm gonna do the same. And then on the next two trellises, I'm gonna put some homemade pickle cucumbers. I do a lot of cannon, and I do sweet and dill pickles. And then the next one I'm gonna do is the Armani. It's cucumber. They say it's tastes more like a melon, like a sweeter melon than a cucumber. I've never tried these before, so we're gonna be trying. I'm trying a lot of new stuff out this year. So y'all get to see me plant this stuff, start it from seed, and watch it grow and see how it turns out. So we're experimenting together. I'm going to be putting some okra over in my circle bed where my greenhouse is. And I'm going to be planting some squash, straight neck squash. It's the early prolific straight neck squash, and this is really good. I grow this every year. And then I'm going to try a new one. It's a summer patty pan scallop blend. I'm going to be trying those, and those I'm going to plant like on the edge of this bed, and I probably will plant some over there in the circle bed as well. And I think that's all the time I'm going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go so I can get these in the ground before it gets dark. But I just want to wanted to go over what I'm going to be planting. And if I get these in the ground and it's still not too dark, I might come back on for a little addition on some of the other stuff I'm going to be planting. But I'm going to see where the time takes me with these. So y'all have a good night, and I shall see y'all another time and another day.